and I never got along with them until I got out of service. And then we got together, and I know him very, very well.
This was the one in Florida?
Yes.
What's his name again?
Marvin.
Marvin.
Yeah.
I love Marvin.
You do, huh?
He's awesome. Yeah, he's great. We met him one of the weddings recently, or something.
Course,
yeah.
of course.
Or was he at your party too?
He
Your
might have
90.
been.
I think he was there. He brought bagels, right? He brought those special
Yes.
from Florida.
Yeah.
Hey, he's a funny guy.
Yes. He had remarried too. He divorced his first wife.
Right.
They
She
had
was
an
nice.
ugly marriage.
Yeah, well, I like his wife now. She's nice.
She's a very nice woman compared to her.
What's her name again? Marvin and
Sheila.
Sheila.
Yeah. And they live in Long Island. He bought a house, nice little house. Had enough money to retire on. And she had some money, so they live.
And then your father continued on with a shoe business after he remarried?
Yeah, but he died when he was 55.
Not much longer.
Not many years.
Were you living in the same town when he passed away?
No, I was living in New York at the time. I had been in the podiatrist.
Going to school?
I was in practice already.
You were practicing?
At the age of, when he was 55, I was in practice.
Practicing in what part of New York? In Long Island?
I was living in Long Island, yeah, Massapequa.
With Nanny at that point, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did he ever get to meet any of your kids? Did your father?
Yeah,
he did.
He met all the kids.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It was a very unhappy marriage. She was unhappy.
Why do you say that?
She was unhappy with everything.
Just not
with
a nice
us
person.
Kids, with us kids who came with the marriage.
She wasn't very nice to you?
She wasn't a very nice person. And she resented it and took it out on us. So we moved out of the house as soon as I was 17 when I left.
So was he remarried before he took over the business while you were on the draft? Or was that...
Yeah, he took over the business, absolutely. I was away in service. My older brother was away. And then my younger brother got drafted too.
Oh, wow.
There was nobody there.
So he came and worked there, and he moved with his new wife? Or did she...
Lived with her the rest of his life, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then, so when you came back, he continued at the store for a little while, or did you guys... did you kick him out?
I stayed in the store. My father... Was he dead? 55.
No, you came back from the draft, and he took over the store, so it was still going when you came back, right?
The store was going.
Yeah.
I think my father was still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he didn't do shoes for very much longer. Did he retire maybe after that?
He went back to live in South Fallsburg.
Okay.
Yeah, he went back there.
In South Walsburg?
South Fallsburg, yeah.
And your store was in what town again?
Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn?
Yeah.
What part of Brooklyn was it in?
Brownsville. They call the section Brownsville.
Brownsville?
Yeah.
And what'd your brother name the store?
Smith Shoes.
Oh, really? So it was a franchise?
No. You could call it a franchise.
Was your dad okay with you calling it Smith Shoes?
He didn't care one bit.
Amazing.
Amazing is right.
And so Did you outcompete the old boss? Did your brother do better than the old boss when he opened that store?
Well,
Was he successful?
I was in the store for a while working like Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays, just to supplement my income.
Right.
And they were nice enough to keep me, to supplement my income, to work those couple of days. Because the GI Bill paid for my tuition and paid me a certain sum of money. I don't know how much it was, but it wasn't enough to live on. Maybe $30 a month, I'm not sure.
Right.
But maybe $30 a month. Plus, they paid for the tuition. So we were able to get along with a rental of an apartment. Was an old school they converted for veterans. It was an old school. They made apartments out of them, and they rented them for a little nothing, maybe $30 a month. They rented these apartments to us.
Oh my God, I bet it's
So they
And
basically
we lived there while I went to school. I went to school about 3 years before I was able to get my degree and open the practice.
They seem to get nicer every year.
it was all paid for.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's amazing.
How we got along.
You lived with Leon,
Leon
Yeah.
owned the stores.
so you lived
Leon.
together.
We
Did you share the apartment?
I was married already.
Oh, you were.
I was married. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad we have some sun cover now.
Yeah.
Watching magazine.
We can always move the chair.
Hey, Mr. Quiet. What's that?
So you were quite the fighter, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have to defend yourself quite a bit growing up?
No, not that much.
I remember one time you said you had a roll of coins in your hand, and
That was when I was delivering deposits in the bank. And I was old enough to make deposits, which means I was old enough to walk. I was about 8 years old, and I used to bring the deposits in a paper bag because they were depositing coins. In that time, shoes were like $3 plus tax, and tax was like 3%, so it was like 9 cents. And we used to take those 9 cents and roll them up in 50-cent batches and deposit them because it was important.
right.
So
That was part of your job when you were a kid.
And these Italian kids, they must have realized, because I was on a way to the bank, and I must have done this quite a few times, and they must have watched me, and they realized I was carrying a paper bag with the deposits in it. And it wasn't a lot of money, maybe $20, $30.
Well, that's a lot of money then.
Oh, yeah. And
And they were how old were
There was
these?
about-
How old were these guys?
I was about eight or nine.
And they were probably-
they were older. They were about 10 or 11.
Oh wow.
They were bigger than me. I knew that. So they finally closed it around me. And as they did, they were within range of my fists. So I lashed out at one, and I was lucky. Because I knocked him down. He went rolling. They all looked at that and they ran.
And you had the roll. You had the roll of coins.
I had the roll of coins
In your fist?
In my fist.
That's amazing.
Then I got home and told this to my cousin. He was a cousin that my father employed for as long as he wanted to work. He employed him from the time he was 16 until until he got out of the business. But I told him the story, and he laughed and laughed. He used to call me something. What did he call me? I forget, but a nickname, meaning the terror.
Yeah. Who was it? What was his cousin's name?
Morris, Moshe.
Moshe? Marvis?
No, Moshe.
Moshe.
Morris. Morris.
Oh,
was the-
Moshe Morris.
No, Morris. Either Morris or Moshe. One or the
One
other.
or the other. He was your first cousin
Yes.
on your dad's side.
My mother's side.
On your mother's side, it was
Yeah.
her. So you
Her sister's son.
okay? Did you ever see him a lot after?
Oh yeah, I went down to visit him a couple of years ago.
Oh,
He
he's
just died last year. He was 95.
wow.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
He was still living up in Brooklyn?
No, he was living in Queens, on Queens Boulevard, where he had an apartment with his wife. His wife is still alive.
I have so much family in New York, don't I? A lot more than I thought I did.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of those relatives I used to see occasionally.
Should I open a Smith's Shoes? Start the business back
Let's
up?
see, is there a Smith Shoes open now? I don't think so. I don't think you'd be alone. Nobody would bother you.
You want to come help open the store?
Sure.
You got time?
Yeah.
I think shoes are made a little differently these days.
Whole different philosophy.
Yeah. Mostly boots that you guys made before, right?
Well, it's entirely different. There's a store that opened near a restaurant we go to. And he has samples lying all around the store. And it's all so many different varieties of shoes, which is the big difference, I think, in the way we sold shoes back when I sold shoes. You didn't have that much variety at all. And different types of shoes, all kinds of moccasins and different things.
Not like what you used to have.
No.
What was the standard shoe that you used to sell?
Well, it was men's shoes. It was a standard Oxford,
Okay.
which is a lot like. No, they don't make those kind of shoes nowadays. They make different styles.
I think they still make them, but they're not quite,
Maybe they're not sold around
they're not
New
very
York.
popular.
Yeah.
kind of with the heel. You have the boot with the heel, right?
Outside heel,
big
yeah.
heel.
Not a big heel.
No.
Regular standard heel.
They were comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
You used to wear them, I assume.
No.
You didn't wear your own shoes?
No.
Why?
I used to wear sporty type shoes. I was a sport. Remember?
You didn't make those kind of shoes.
No, we made no shoes at all. We just jobbed. Jobber was one who bought a limited supply of shoes. And we used to go down to the headquarters of jobbing in downtown New York on Duane Street and Reed Street and buy them, order a couple of dozen, 4 dozen, 5 dozen shoes and carry them through the subway back home to save on car fare. And not car fare, shipping. The $1 or $2 for shipping.
Oh, wow.
We used to pay a nickel fare compared to $1 or so if they were shipped by truck.
Oh, wow. And so you would get these at wholesale,
Yeah,
and then you would just resell them.
that's right.
So you didn't ever make shoes? Your father made shoes, no?
No, he never made shoes. He never made shoes in this country. He never made shoes once he left Russia.
Oh,
There
really?
there was no way he could make shoes and make a living. No way. They were just too expensive. Ordinary people.
But he
couldn't-
knew how to make shoes.
He didn't have to make shoes.
But he
It was
knew how
easier.
to. He knew how to make
He knew
shoes.
how. He always knew how. Yeah.
And did you learn that? You never learned that.
I never
business.
learned how to make shoes. No.
So you guys.
I finished shoes on the thing there, but I never learned how to cut soles,
Right.
tack them on.
So what was your father nailing when he used to nail
He nailed the
the
heels.
heels?
He nailed the heels. He was good with the hammer. And he nailed the soles in certain segments. He would nail on the soles and then bring them over to a stitcher. That was a tough job for him, to learn how to stitch shoes.
Why was he stitching them? Because you would buy them in pieces, sort of?
No, he wasn't making shoes to sell. He was repairing shoes.
Oh, I see.
And he'd cut away the old sole and measure a piece of soling material and cut it out and then nail it, the back part near the heel. He'd nail that to the shoe because you couldn't feel that in the area that he was tacking the shoe onto. And then he would nail a little nail up in the front part of the shoe, and then he put it on the machine that stitched it.
Interesting.
It was called a Landis stitcher. I'll never forget that.
A Landis stitcher?
Landis, that was the name of the inventor.
I have a moral code. I can't pee in the water. She did.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Daddy wants some water? Go in the water.
No thanks.
It's just stuff. What you doing? You got an iPhone
We're
too?
talking.
We can FaceTime each other.
We're just getting some history of the family.
I know. It's great. Can we quiz you now?
Oh, yeah.
Trivia quiz?
Definitely.
Name Poppy's brothers and stepfather and stepbrother and half-brother in order of age, from oldest to
Yeah,
youngest.
he learned all about
I
that.
didn't learn all of them, but I got Marvin was just his
Youngest.
stepbrother,
Right.
youngest stepbrother,
Half-brother.
half-brother.
Yeah.
Half brother.
Sam.
I guess it's not the same as a stepbrother. Huh?
No.
Yeah, half-brother. We got Uncle Stanley. He's the youngest.
Right.
He went to the orphanage with Poppy,
Yes.
and he used to let him follow him around, so he protected him.
He was 5 years
Wait a
old.
minute. Wait a minute. I thought that he stayed with relatives, and you and Leon went to the orphanage.
For a short time,
Oh, okay.
he stayed
And
with
then
relatives.
Leon was old enough to work, so he left, and then
Stanley.
Stanley came, and then Leon sent Poppy a nail and a hammer, and said, "Here, you can hang your clothes on this." As a joke.
Oh, really? I never heard that.
I just remember that as I'm talking.
That's so funny.
Very funny. I wanted to hit him with it. No, it was all in jest.
Yeah. He's a wonderful man.
Yeah,
Did I ever meet Uncle Stanley?
sure you did.
I did.
We were just talking about him.
No, Marvin. We were talking
Oh,
about.
Marvin, that's
I don't
right.
think he met, because we really weren't close to Stanley.
Well, Stanley remained up in Fallsburg.
Right. I don't
He
think
married
they ever met him.
Sonny
Right.
and stayed there.
I don't think they ever met him.
Sonny.
You think they ever married?
No, I don't think they ever met Stanley.
Oh, well, it's possible. Maybe at a wedding or so. Who knows?
Possibly.
Not very often, that's for
I
sure.
feel like I may have met him like at Nora, like one of the Nora's bat mitzvahs, maybe, or something back in New York.
No.
He never came to any of those family functions.
I don't know.
No, that's a different side of the family. Nora is Nanny's side.
Right. Okay.
So, no, I don't think you would have met him.
Who is Nora?
Nora is
Nora is Ricky
Ricky.
and Amy's daughter.
Oh, okay.
Nora, Greg, and Aaron.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Greg recently got out of law school. He's a
Yeah,
lawyer
he got
now.
a job with Home Depot, doing a new thing.
I didn't know
and
that.
he didn't get it through Bernie. He got it through Aaron, actually. Aaron introduced him to some people, and of course, I'm sure the name Marcus didn't hurt.
Yeah.
But
Thank you.
there's a new. It's like a security. What is Greg doing for Home Depot?
I don't know.
He travels a lot, and it's a brand new. I don't know. It's something to do with some security thing. They like
Really?
the fact that he was a cop and a lawyer, and that was very helpful. But he's going all over, and they're starting up something in Home Depot that he's going to be head of. So he's all excited. Actually, he's going to be coming to Atlanta for